What's up, y'all? It's your girl Age, and I'm here to talk about episode 3 of Even Son, the short 6-episode series about a debt collector and his alleged debtor, who actually may not be indebted to him at all. Let me caveat by saying, when you all watch my videos, I hope that you all are just relaxing, enjoying yourself, maybe have a snack, and don't take nothing too serious. I know some of these episodes have crazy topics, but we are just here to have a good, relaxing time, okay? So, uncaveat, let's get right into it. Yeah, I remember last episode how I said Tale and Son looked like they were on a date when they were in a secluded part of the island. Well, maybe Arthur thought that as well, briefly. And that was where this episode starts off. Of course, he is very suspicious of Son. And rightfully so. And he also makes a little comment that those two are getting too close too fast. So, remember Arthur asking Son if he trusted his dad? Well, in this scene, we see Son's dad getting a large sum of money from a man who he asked to invest in something real shady. You can tell that he's acting real weird because he's making all these big empty promises to this man and literally bullshitting the man, okay? So, it's later on in the night, and Son has to walk down the dark and lonely road because he did not get a ride from Arthur. Y'all know this boy is scary. Also, his phone died. So he's deciding if he wants to go back to the secluded area because he thinks that Arthur is hiding a treasure. He actually thinks that Arthur still has like a real actual treasure, okay? Arthur himself is still in the same secluded spot in his truck resting when he gets a knock on his truck window where Son is asking, hey, can you call me a ride or can you give me a ride down the hill because I don't want to walk by myself. Arthur gives him a flashlight. He's like, if you want to go back, just go back by yourself. So Son has to start walking down the long and dark road again. Eventually, though, Arthur walks down behind him and meets him, and they walk together back to the hotel. And I am like, where is Arthur's truck? Son actually asks the same thing, but we don't really get an answer, so we're just going to brush over that fact, just like the episode did, okay? Because there is no way I would be walking in that jungle that late at night. I don't care how familiar I am with that island. So we get a rare moment when they get back to the hotel where Son tells Arthur, thank you. And Arthur tells him another time, go back to Bangkok tomorrow. Of course, we all know Son is like, no. Son goes back inside the hotel and closes the door behind him. At this point, I am just like, Arthur, why don't you just tell this ignorant little boy the truth? He needs to hear it. And so do we. The next morning at the hotel, we see JJ, that's Nemo's boyfriend, looking for Nemo, who up and took off. Arthur tells him Nemo isn't there. Nemo and JJ's dynamic is so strange to me still. Like, are they in a real loving relationship or is there something else that's going on between these two? Is it arranged? I don't know. JJ tells Arthur that Nemo had just sent them a text message and the two of them, they did get into a little argument, but he was there to take Nemo home. Is this dynamic not weird to y'all? I'm sorry. It really is like so random. Arthur is like, I don't have time for this, and he basically walks off. So the next scene is a bit interesting. Ty and Meek go to collect money from none other than Son's dad. Of course, the old man tells them, I don't got it. And he says that Son was going to go get the money, and he'll pay him when he has it, allegedly. Ty is about to pounce on Son's dad, but Meek is trying to be more respectful, being that this is his best friend's dad. Meek drags Ty outside. We learn that this is the only person that Meek is not able to collect from. He begs Ty not to get involved and let him handle Son's dad. For a brief moment, you would almost think that these two... I won't say that. Just watch that scene for yourself. Ty says that he will leave the old man alone, but after today, he will collect from Son's dad himself. But he did agree with Meek to not use force. Turns out that Son's dad and Ashting's dad are actually friends. And Son's dad is like, did you really send your boys to come collect my debt from me? Then it comes out. Ashling's dad says, you should stop tricking people with your crazy and vain investment schemes, okay? I told y'all that Sun's dad was a very shady character. He was a very shady character. Ashling's dad says, it's my job, especially if someone hires me. And I get it, man. Then Sun dad asks if he heard from Sun. Ashling's dad said, if Sun was successful, then Sun will be back by now. True words. So we also see who Sun's debtor is. It is an attorney. And he actually went to Ashling's dad to collect the debt from Sun's dad. He is probably getting sued from all that scamming and scheming he's been doing. This man is really a dramatic trip, just like his useless son. So, while these two, Sun and Arthur, are on the beach, Sun is asking Arthur, where's my money? Then he proceeds to body search Arthur by touching all over his clothes, trying to get into his pockets, touching all over his fine-ass body. But I won't get into that yet. Then one of the staffs at the hotel sees them on the beach one filling up the other one and the other one being filled up, and thinks that they are being all lovey-dovey. And he's like, I didn't see nothing, y'all keep going. And he is like a really messy staff member, so he is going to go back and tell everybody what he just saw. And the two boys are just like, this is not what it looks like, and they are just in shock. So these two go to the restaurant, Arthur and Sun, and Arthur is like, go back to Bangkok before I lose my patience. Okay, this is sounding more and more like a threat. Am I right, guys? Sun, however, is like, I have a right to be here as your creditor and as your customer. So since he said as your customer, Arthur starts running up a tab for Sun, saying that, since you're staying in a hotel, this is going to be all the things you got to pay for. Arthur is like, pay the deposit for the room. Arthur knows that Sun has like no money at all, and the amount is super expensive. And Arthur says, okay, so if you don't have any money, leave, please. And he does it with like a cute smile on his face, allegedly being nice to his customer. We all know that he is being so mean to Sun. But is he being mean? Not really, because he does have to pay for his room. Anyway, Arthur kicks Sun out of the hotel. On his way out, Sun says, well, I can just stay somewhere else. There are many beautiful hotels on this island. Remember that, guys, because Arthur also hears that as well. Interestingly enough, none of the other hotels have a room for Sun to stay in. Sun runs into the scammer, aka Talay. Turns out Arthur owns every damn hotel on that island. Talk about a rich baby daddy. So, Sun asks Talay, do you know of a place that this man does not own? Come on, help me out for buying you food that one time. Y'all, Sun should have stupid written all over his forehead. Okay, are you really going to ask Arthur's best friend for a place to stay? For all you know, these two could be in cahoots together, and most likely are. As we expected, Talay decides to take Sun to a new place. In the next scene, we see Ashing training Mankorn, and he is making that boy work hard. He is sweating. He's out of breath. Mankorn says, look, take it easy on me, man. I am not a boxer like you. That makes Ashing feel some type of way when he says that. He's like, you think I'm a boxer? I never fought anybody in a real match. Then the two of them make a bet. Okay, since Mankorn is going to be his first competitor ever, he's like, if I, Mankorn, win, then you, Ashing, have to do all of my orders. But they failed to mention what would happen if Ashing wins, okay? So, these two seem to be getting along fairly well, like way better than they were before. The camera then pans to Ty, and he looks like he just saw his crush flirting with someone else. But me, I'm like, I don't even know which one of them Ty even likes. Guys, were we supposed to know that Ty had a crush on someone? Help me out. Y'all, oh man, this show. Y'all are lucky that these characters are very beautiful.